Hello, welcome to Should I Buy This Game? My name is Christine, and this video is going to be more of an update video. One thing I've learned while board gaming is that board gamers really like stats and top 10 lists. So I don't have a list, but I thought I would share my January stats with you. Then I'm going to tell you a bit about myself and then what I have planned for the month of February. So I hope you stick along for the whole journey. So first off, January, I played a total of 35 different games. Of the 35 different games, 22 were new games to me. And we played a total of 95 games. And part of that was due is the first week of January, my daughter Gemma was home. And the most played game was My Island because we did the entire 24 game campaign in 1 week and 11 of them was in one night. So that was a lot of My Island. So that was how we got up to 95 plays for the month of January. After that, people went to work, I was left alone, and a lot of those were solo plays. And so that's my stats for that. Now, a lot of people play on Board Game Arena, BGA, but I do not. And I have two reasons why I do not play on BGA. One is because when we originally got into board gaming, it was to put down our phones, do something that didn't involve screens, and do it together, even though now that people have gone to work, I do play alone. And so I never really got into BGA because I didn't want to play games online. I wanted to play like the hard copy of a game. The second reason why I don't play on BGA is actually I do not like playing online games with strangers because it scares me. Even though like obviously they don't know who I am, it just freaks me out. So I probably won't have BGA stats because I don't like to play with strangers. So be it. So anyway, now a little bit about myself. So as you know, my name's Christine and I live in Toronto with my husband, Mark, and that's the main person I play games with. And then I have a daughter, Gemma, who's 21 and currently at university. And so she comes and goes. And so when she's here, we do play a lot of games. We sort of focus on it. And then she goes back to university and I'm stuck by myself playing alone again. So you'll hear her come in and out of conversation. And that's sort of our family. We have 2 cats. And that's what we do here. And so how did we start this whole thing? Well, it all started actually last May in 2023. Jim and I were in Copenhagen and we went to this game store. And at that point, I've never been to a game store before. And I was like, what are all these games? I was just like, it was so strange to me. It was like, it wasn't anything I'd experienced. And this store was like huge. Not huge, like the entire walls were bookcases filled with games. There were tables all in the middle, piled with games, and I've never been to a store like it since. The stores here we have are not like this store. And Flamecraft was on display, and Gemma says to me how she had seen it on Instagram and she wanted to play it. And me being a good mom said, that's nice. And we carried on. About a week later, we were in Bergen, Norway, and we went to another store, but this store was like comics and manga and board games and other things. And again, Flamecraft was on display. And again, she's like, oh, look, it's Flamecraft again. And again, I said, that's nice. So then we got home in June and I was visiting her in Ottawa and a game store opened. And I was like, hey, what was that game we saw when we were in Scandinavia? And she's like, oh, Flamecraft. And sure enough, they had it in the store. And so I'm like, why don't we buy some games? And so we bought Flamecraft and a few other games she sort of picked out. And then I came home and I started looking on YouTube, like what are some good games for beginners, like most people will do. And I started making my list and watching my videos. And then I was like, I wonder if in Toronto we have board game stores. And of course we do, and a lot of them. And many I can easily get to. And so in that search, we also found out that not only do we have board game stores, we had a rental store. And I'm like, oh my God, I can actually like try all these games because I'm just learning all the mechanisms. And so we would rent some games and then talk about them and be like, did we like that game? What don't we like about that game? Do we want to own that game? And we did this And then we would like buy a game and not buy a game. And so we were just happily playing our little games. And then something happened in the middle of July that I'm sure you've all heard about. There was a SAG strike. And you may wonder, why would a SAG strike affect you in Toronto? Well, my husband is a camera assistant for the film and TV industry, and most of what we film is American. So suddenly he was home every single day. Now, initially we thought this is just going to be 2 weeks, whatever, let's have some fun, we'll play some games. But as you know, it was not 2 weeks, it was months. And so for months, we would rent games every week, and it was a week-long rental. And so we'd get between 1 and 3 games, depending what else we had going on. And for 4 months, we rented and played game after game after game after game. So we had that time to really learn a lot about board games. And so it was around mid-October, and we were sitting, and we had just finished playing a game and talking about it. And we were like, how could we like turn this bad event of the strike and no income for 4 months into something good, something positive? And we're like, could we start a YouTube channel? What could we do that's different, that's not out there? I knew I didn't want to do just like how to play. I don't like doing playthroughs. I don't like doing live videos. And so we came up with the concept we have where just explain the game and say things we like and dislike about it, because that's the video I want to watch to find out if it's a game I want to buy. And so we're like, okay, let's try this out. And guess what? He got a job. And so he got an independent movie he was asked to work on. And so he went to work. And I still was like playing with the idea of how to make this into a YouTube channel. And you may wonder, well, isn't it weird? Why do you suddenly want to start a YouTube channel? Like, that seems sort of random. Well, I've actually been creating YouTube videos or creating content for 17 years. I have another channel called Scrap Time Videos, and in 2007 we started it as a video podcast. And it wasn't until years later, when YouTube was actually able to have a longer video and a better quality video, that we switched to YouTube. Then in 2021, I started another channel called Visit Toronto, and it's all geared towards tourists and videos around the city, attractions, where to shop, where to eat, different neighborhoods. And then later in 2021, I started a third YouTube channel. It's more personal channel for when I travel, but the videos can be shared with anybody. And while I travel, I film little videos that I will put together once I'm home. So this is actually my 4th YouTube channel. And as I said, I've been doing this for 17 years. I was teaching art techniques, so now I'm teaching games. So he got the job in October. Then in November, the strike finally ended, and he went back to his normal job, and he worked up till Christmas. And then Gemma came home, and then we played games with her. So finally, Gemma went back to Ottawa, and we had a week before Mark went back to work. And that's when we actually started this channel. And so now we only film on weekends because he's working again for the next 2 weeks. So that's why sometimes you get a lot of videos during the week or only a few. It depends how tired he is and how long his weekend is, because he works very long hours. Like last weekend, from the time he arrived home till had to go back to work, he had less than 48 hours. So we tried to keep it light and film some card games. But in a couple weeks, he's unemployed again. So you'll probably see a lot more videos. And so that leads to what February update is that like what I plan is, my goal is to do a video a day if we're able. Otherwise, it's every other day. And our goal is to work through our collection of games, and then as well throw in like the new games I pick up. So it'll be a combination of older games and newer games until we work through that, and then going forward, it'll be new to us games, even if some of them are older. So hopefully you stay subscribed, you share it with your friends, and I've really appreciated all your comments and nice words, and I'm happy to now be part of the board game community. So thank you. Feel free to leave a comment below on games you want to see featured or games you think I might like, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.